Well, breaking at noon, an Omaha native indicted in New York.
Welcome to another episode of JEiiNCLUSIVE. Like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications so you are alerted every time I upload. Now let's get into today's story. Dominique Morgan served as the executive director of Black in Pink, a nonprofit focused on supporting LGBTQ individuals impacted by the prison system, and has also been involved with the Borealis Philanthropies Fund for Transgenerations since December 2022. Morgan's work has been recognized in the past. She was honored with a street named after her in Omaha, Nebraska, making her the first Black trans woman in the U.S. to receive such an honor. This recognition was a testament to her resilience and advocacy for marginalized communities. Earlier this year, with Dominique by her side to assist with the initiative, American reality television personality and actress T.S. Madison announced she would be donating one of her properties in Atlanta, Georgia, to the nonprofit organization National AIDS Education and Services for Minorities. The home would serve as a safe haven for at-risk members of the trans community. In a statement to E! News, Madison explained, "God has given me so many things, and the way that you honor gives is you give back," she said. "I really don't want a lot of the girls to walk the same path that I did. If I can come in, teach someone how to make different life choices and not to follow directly in my footsteps, but a new path, a new beginning, and also live in the house where it all started for me, then I'm doing the service of what the higher authority wants me to do." Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez announced the indictment of Dominique Morgan, the former executive director of the Brooklyn-based nonprofit OKRA project, on charges of grand larceny and falsifying business records.
She built a reputation in Omaha as an advocate and author, but now facing 24 criminal counts, one of which carries up to 15 years in prison if convicted.
I'm Melissa Wright on the Dominique Morgan Street, named after a trans activist known for her work in Omaha. On Wednesday, we found out that she's being charged for stealing $100,000 from a New York-based nonprofit. Dominique Morgan made a name for herself in Omaha after being released from prison. Morgan began her executive director position at Black in Pink in 2018, dedicated to helping LGBTQ+ people who've been incarcerated. In 2021, she told us in an interview,
"And if we worked just as hard to pull people in as we work to push people away sometimes, we would really get the change we want to see."
In 2022, she moved to New York for an executive director position at the OKRA Project, according to her LinkedIn. That's the organization she's accused of taking almost $100,000 from. The group's initial mission, providing resources to the Black trans community. Morgan went further, raising money she said would go to bail out indigent people from jail. OKRA's board asked for receipts. The district attorney says Morgan handed over some from Fulton County, Georgia, and Douglas County, Nebraska. Investigators say, quote, "No such persons were arrested at that time." Prosecutors say Morgan used $99,000 she transferred into her personal account in 2022 for a California closet renovation, car payments, shopping, and other expenses, including meals. Morgan is now charged with grand larceny and falsifying 23 business records. If convicted, she could be back in prison for up to 15 years. I did reach out to Morgan for a comment. She told me to talk to her attorney. I'm still waiting to hear back from him. In North Omaha, I'm Melissa Wright.
District Attorney Gonzalez stated, "The theft of nonprofit funds deprives communities of critical resources, erodes public trust, and cheats donors who give in good faith." Interestingly, this is not Morgan's first legal trouble. In 2011, she was charged with theft by receiving stolen property. And in 2014, she was charged with theft involving amounts between $500 and $1,500. It's always disheartening when individuals in positions of authority exploit the communities they claim to serve. Dominique was part of the 12% of American households earning over $200,000 annually, far exceeding the income of many within the transgender community, where 40% report making less than $40,000 per year, and trans women earn only 60 cents for every dollar earned by the average American worker. For Dominique to have allegedly found the literal cheat code, while other Black trans women take the honest route, making minimum wage and facing discrimination every day, is deeply frustrating and disheartening.
Well, painful days at work, feeling like outsiders. 3 trans women open up to News 12's Katie Vasquez in an exclusive interview about their experience working for Whole Foods. The women tell us the company's high quality standards didn't match up with the way they were treated as employees.
I heard there's a man in here.
Some of the transphobic comments Alana Monroe claims she faced from her coworkers.
I froze. I immediately felt paralyzed.
While using the restroom at the Bryant Park Whole Foods Market.
One particular girl did ask me about my genitalia.
The transgender woman says she took her concerns to her boss.
He just said, no, that's not sexual harassment, and just sent me on my way.
So she went a step further, filing an official complaint in an email detailing blatant transphobia that store leadership does zero to help, and she has absolute fear of being discriminated against. Her complaint went unanswered.
Because even after I reported it to my regional president, I still was misgendered.
Monroe isn't the only one. Samantha Horton claims to have dealt with similar behavior from her colleagues at the same Whole Foods location.
The other colleagues were just like making fun and calling me a man.
The name calling is hard enough, but she alleges it also affected her professionally. She claims getting promoted was a challenge.
Tell you don't have experience, and the same person that got the job got in the same day that you got in.
Nolani Porch transferred from the Bryant Park Whole Foods location to the Harlem store before beginning her transition. She claims she notified management, but coworkers continued to use her dead name, the one she was given at birth. Porch felt it was important to educate her colleagues about her journey, but says she was asked not to by her superiors.
I would answer these questions, and then I would get pulled into the office, and they would say like, hey, this is not appropriate to talk about on the sales floor. It's, it's bad for business.
The final straw occurred after she was threatened by a customer.
Tell me that she would come back up to the store and shoot me.
Even more shocking was the response from work.
Told me that my dialogue with the customer was unprofessional.
Porch and Horton were both terminated on what they believed to be baseless excuses. Monroe is still employed there, but went on medical leave because of the emotional toll it took on her.
I was diagnosed with PTSD. I was also placed on an antipsychotic and an anti-anxiety medicine.
Monroe returned to sex work at one point, an experience that she found less harmful than working at Whole Foods.
Felt appreciated. And I didn't feel that appreciation and value from working at Whole Foods.
Now, all 3 have retained Lane Armstrong as they pursue legal action against Whole Foods. The attorney has seen a growing number of trans, gender nonconforming, and intersex clients come to her.
The resources and the law, and that there's the knowledge.
The employment attorney relying on the Supreme Court ruling from June 2020, Bostock versus Clayton County, Georgia. It specifically addresses trans discrimination in the workplace.
She was told at one point, well, we can't control other people's behavior.
News 12 demanding answers from Whole Foods about the allegations. A spokesperson sent us this statement. We do not comment on pending litigation. However, Whole Foods Market has a zero tolerance policy for discrimination and retaliation of any kind. We are proud of our diverse and inclusive work environment. All 3 confirm that employees are trained, but it wasn't enforced. Armstrong says this is a common legal loophole.
Policies are in place generally so the company can say when they're sued, well, wait, we have this policy in place and we did this training.
They are glad to have each other to rely on as they continue this legal battle against the grocery chain. In Manhattan, Katie Vasquez, News 12.
To get on the internet, writing think pieces about people being mediocre, flaunting luxury handbags, and flashing a Mercedes-Benz funded by some of the money that was allegedly stolen is nasty work.
I refuse to let mediocre people make me feel bad for being excellent. And I will meet most people where they are, except at the intersection of mediocre and basic as fuck. That's it.
Once the allegations became public, NAESM Inc. released a statement announcing they would be pausing their contract with Dominique to allow her time to address the allegations. They also assured everyone that senior leadership within the organization has always overseen the nonprofit's funds.